This review has been approved by Lord Carnage.
Banished from Earth Classic Game Room broadcasts from the Intergalactic Space Arcade on its never-ending mission to review everything. Surprise! There's a video game based on 1990s comic book, Hard Boiled, not to be confused with the John Woo movie of the same name. It's funny that two things named Hard Boiled are two of my favorite things because it's also one of my favorite John Woo movies, but that has nothing to do with this. This is 1990s Dark Horse Comics book by Frank Miller and Jeff Darrow, one of the greatest comics ever written, ever, anywhere, anytime. There's just nothing else like it. I lost my color version with the dialogue years ago, but at some point bought the huge versions of Hard Boiled and the Big Guy and Rusty the Boy Robot, which are totally worth it if you like Jeff Darrow's artwork because you can study it indefinitely and always find new things. He's incredible. Sadly, this game is not.
Sure, a bunch of losers. Think you can escape from me? Mr. Wilford told you to always pay your taxes.
The most interesting part of it is this bit of CGI animated cutscene at the beginning, but like the game itself, it just gets your hopes up and ultimately disappoints you, because it's not that good and has next to nothing to do with the book. They could have put any license on top of this game and it would have still been a subpar futuristic driving action game. It actually feels unfinished. Like something went wrong during development here. It's not unplayable, but it's a Japanese import. You'll need a Japanese PlayStation to play it, or PS2, which is what I'm using. You fly this representation of Nixon's car around and shoot things and collect power-ups and dodge like enemy cranes and tentacles coming out of the ground and stuff. It's a complete mess. I love boss battles when you shoot the boss and there's no indication that you're actually hitting it or causing any damage. It took forever to figure out what I was actually supposed to aim at here, and then I defeated it and it told me that I had to play the game again on normal. But on normal, I keep getting stuck in the tentacle pit in the tunnels and it's not fun, so it took me forever to review this game because I just don't like playing it, but I've been going through all my comics again lately and was like, you know, I'll finally review Hard Boiled, and it's just as disappointing as I remember it being when I first bought it. So, save your money, spend it on comics or better video games instead. Or lunch. Anything. The story is good, but just from the art standpoint alone, it's one of the best books ever made. Jeff Darrow is something else. Hunt down a copy of Hard Boiled. I think the big ones are now super expensive. Thankfully I bought them when they were new at sticker price. I think it was originally a 3-issue series, and I'm pretty sure you can just get it as a collection now. So do that if you think the artwork at the beginning looks cool, because that's just the tip of the iceberg. The music is generic, the controls really aren't all that great, but I do have to compliment the menus. I'm digging deep here, but the menus are good and actually reflect the art style seen in the comic book.
I hope so. There won't be any formatting tonight. We'll all be free. Mega Blast Energy.
This is one to avoid. If you want a cool game based on some of my favorite comic books, go with any of the Ghost in the Shell games or Appleseed EX on Japanese PlayStation 2. Definitely pick up Hard Boiled and anything else that Jeff Darrow ever does, ever. Oh, and then there's that other guy that was involved, Frank Miller. You've probably heard of him. He was in RoboCop 2.
Kindly reformat Unit 4.
Yes, Mr. Wilford.